it's actually about the super collider in CERN, Switzerland. Who knew? But here goes. John Olson writes, I don't remember a time of greater insecurity. University of Massachusetts economic professor Richard Wolff argues that government bailouts and stimulus packages will not be enough to address the real causes of the economic crisis or to mend the seismic failures within the structures of American-style capitalism itself. While Wall Street has been refloated with staggering amounts of capital, the rest of the country remains floundering on a dry, mud-caked riverbed. The bailout package, observed Joseph Stiglitz in a January 2009 Vanity Fair essay, appropriately titled Capitalist Fools, was like a massive transfusion to a patient suffering from internal bleeding, and nothing was being done about the source of the problem, namely all those foreclosures. Climate change is wreaking havoc on the world's population. Australia, Argentina, India, Kenya, and war-torn Afghanistan are suffering unprecedented droughts. Polar ice caps are melting at a much faster rate than scientists predicted. Typhoons, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods have increased in fury and devastation. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization predicts that 370 million people could be facing famine by 2050 if food production doesn't rise by at least 70%. And a series of wildfires has left California, which is drought-stricken and near bankruptcy, as black as a handful of charcoal briquettes. Violence seems to be on the rise across the globe, from militants in Afghanistan spraying acid on the faces of girls walking to school, to the Mumbai attacks, to burning cars in France, to drug-related killings in Mexico, to an increase in domestic violence in the United States. Planet Earth is in a traumatic turmoil. The combined services of Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and the Incredible Hulk could not put a dent in the problem. We live in a world going through massive traumatic change. We live in a world whose resources are stretched to overburden by an industrial society built on production and consumption. We live in a world of increasing religious intolerance and a growing fundamentalism that declares who's in and who's out, who's other and who's saved. We live in a world addicted to difference. We live in a world who desperately needs a mother. For 10,000 years of recorded history, God has been discussed as the masculine figure, a figure where dominance becomes domination. A figure where community includes otherness, where violence redeems. Where it's my way and the highway. Where pain is a righteous infliction of punishment for failing to follow authority. My experience of God could be nothing further from the truth. My experience of God is not the angry, distant, judgmental Father who demands obedience and acquiescence. It is that warm, all-embracing hug of absolute acceptance. A love that gave birth to me, intended and on purpose, A love from which there's nothing I could do or say to separate myself. A love so profound, so all-consuming, so pervasive and unconditional that I couldn't remove myself from it if I wanted to. A love that insists on my welfare. A love that nurtures, protects, provides. This day of all days, the mother with a child at her breast, the elderly mother, weak in capacity, holding the hand of her daughter, that very special mother nursing the needs of an incapacitated child. The tears of the mother laying a famished, famine-starved life to rest. That's the face of God. The world is dying for. It is that face of God that women in our life reflect to us. It is that yearning deep within our soul to love, to nurture, to give ourselves fully and completely to this process that we call life, holding it sacred, knowing that it's divine. It is an absolute, optimistic trust that the future will be better than the past, that tomorrow has meaning and purpose, that a way will be made in the desert. There will be a light unto our feet and a lamp unto our path. That it was from love which we sprang, and it is that love to which we shall return. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from that love. No matter what we do or don't do, no matter the degree of our fear or anxiety, our acting out or our acting in. The only way we find that love is in the stillness and in the silence. The only way that I know